I had a rough week as a reseller last week, and part of it was I had some really bad sales, but I also made the biggest mistake of my reselling career. And I'm going to tell you about that later in the video, but my name's Andy and I resell items on eBay to supplement my income. So I'm going to go through with you my top 10 sales from last week. I did have a couple really good sales, but I did have quite a few of not so profitable sales hit my top 10, so we'll go through those first few pretty quick. The first one is this Bape t-shirt. This is not a brand you find at Goodwill in Wisconsin ever. I've never seen one, but it was in rough shape, but it still sold for $33.20 for a profit of $12.43. So number 9 was this straight down golf polo new with tags that sold for $39.85. And I only got a profit of $12.61. And this was because I made a mistake on my shipping and I shipped them the wrong item. I had to pay to return that one and then, ship them another one. So yeah, I wasn't having a very good day that day when I was shipping, because I don't make mistakes like that often. Number 8 were these pair of Columbia swim shorts. These were new with tags. I sold these for $31.95 for a profit of $12.61. Next, we got this Whole Tones 2 Sleep Lullaby CD set. Basically, I guess music you just listen to fall asleep. This was brand new sealed. It sold for $29.50, leaving me a profit of $17.07. I didn't have a lot of great sales last week. I think partially because my strategy has changed. I'm trying to get a better rating on my shipping costs, because that's the only rating that I don't have 5 stars in. And so I've switched everything to free shipping, but that changes a few things because it shows a higher price when people are browsing. But then also when I send out offers, I don't want to send out those 10, 15, 20% offers as much, because the percentage also includes now the shipping. So I send more 5% offer and 10% offers out, and it's just doesn't seem to be working for me as well. But I'm going to keep up with it and see if it might just be a down week or whatever, or if I got to switch back to charging shipping. Number 6 were these Ariat men's jeans. I sell these quite a bit. Ariat jeans sell really well for me. These sold for $39.95 for a profit of $17.07. Ariat is pretty good, but my favorite brand to sell is actually Patagonia. Anytime I see a Patagonia fleece or jacket, I pick those up every time, even if they're priced up at Goodwill. Usually for me, it's like $10 or $11 for a fleece, but they just sell really well for me really quick, and some of them are quite valuable actually. Anyways, my number 5 sale for the week was this Primal U.S. Marine Corps cycling jersey, again new with tags. This was $7 at Goodwill, and I sold it for $38.55 for a profit of $20.14. Number 4 were these Perk Feel Good chinos. I never heard of this brand before, but they are brand new with the tags, purchased at Goodwill. I sold these for $49.95 for a profit of $28.09. So we had to get up to my top 4 before I finally see an item that was really, in my opinion, worth picking up and selling for the price that it sold for. Next, we got this Buick hood ornament, and I've been selling these over the last couple weeks. I got them in a lot for like $1. I got 4 of them, and this one sold for $39.95, profiting me $28.91. I didn't have a lot of great pickups last week at yard sales, but I did find a few things. One thing I was going to share is this bat. I bought this for $20. They were asking $25, and they told me that just a minute or two before I asked about it, somebody thought that it was priced at 25 cents, and they offered that, and they turned that down, but they were okay taking my $20 offer on this bat. I think it's going to sell for around $100. My number 2 sale for the week is an item I talked about last week that I picked up at Goodwill for $3, and it was this Tamagotchi. Some of these are really valuable. This one was quite valuable because it sold for $59.95 for a profit of $42.47. So pretty good on that one. Okay, so let me tell you about what happened and how I lost a lot of money, or at least a lot of potential profit, because technically I didn't really lose money. So back in like 2020, 2021, I was buying these Pokemon items. This is an item that was on clearance. I wasn't scalping it or anything. Nobody wanted this back in the day, and I was buying these for like $10 on clearance at Walmart. And I bought a bunch of them, and I've sold a bunch of them. I started selling them when they hit around $100, but now this one is worth about $380. So I had this item sell for $380, and what happened was I was out of town and somebody else was helping me ship, and they ended up shipping this item, which has the same item in there, but it's connected to another one. And these I've sold as well, and these command a much bigger premium. So whereas this one sold for $380, this one might sell for maybe $900. So actually the one that got shipped was an even better one because it had Mewtwo on this side, so it was a better character. I think I could have sold that item for $1,000, and my plan was to hang on to it until it was worth maybe $2,000 or even $3,000. So the way the market goes with Pokemon, it's gonna get there, I believe. But anyways, so now I have this item. This item was shipped. I lost out on at least $600. Again, the future potential profit could have been higher, but the person was trying to help me. I told them very clearly the difference between these two items to hopefully not make that mistake, because I knew it was a potential, but it happened anyways. You know, I only paid, even for this one, maybe $10 or $15. So selling this for $400 is still pretty good, but it definitely stung. I kind of had a bad week. That's why I had that mix up in shipping earlier. But I think I'm over it now. I'm moving forward. I'm looking forward to yard sales this week and hopefully find some more profitable items than what sold last week. But my number 1 actually was a pretty good profitable sale. It was this Cleveland broom putter. I talked about picking this up a couple weeks ago. I bought it for $60. It was brand new, and it sold for $189 for a profit of $88.37. And I'd say that was a heck of a flip.